This thing is on. Trust me. I'm here. I am not hiding from you. Good morning. How are you? Welcome to the end of the year. Holy moly macaroni. Welcome to December 31st, 2024, the end of another year, the end of one of the greatest years the stock market has ever seen. Back to back, 2023, 2024, two of the best stock market performance returns of all time. Thank you, President Biden. It was nothing to do with Donnie Trump. Thank you, President Biden, for giving us two of the best back-to-back years of all time, because forever and ever and ever, history will record stock market performances year in and year out and year in and year out. And these last 2 years are two of the best years the stock markets have ever had in the history of stock markets. Reagan didn't do this. Bush wasn't able to do it. Obama wasn't able to do it. Clinton couldn't do it. Trump couldn't do it. Nixon couldn't do it. Washington couldn't do it. Mr. O'Biden did it all by himself at 82 years of age in his frail condition in the White House. Do you believe that? If you believe that, you believe in Fantasyland. And if you think that Orange Boy coming up is going to do just the same, you are full of Kool-Aid that has been spiked. I'm sorry for you. You're going to get your butt handed to you. But if you're here on this channel following this old fart, you understand that this channel really isn't about the Democratic Party. It's not about the Republican Party. I'm not here for the NDP from Canada. I'm not here for the Labour Party from the United Kingdom. I'm not here for Social Democrats out of Germany. I don't give a crap about the Communist Party in China. I don't give a crap about any of these Muslim countries with their ayatollahs and whatever these things are. I don't give a crap about any of these guys. I'm here for making money. I'm here for the party of making a buck, making more money than I need to get by on, more money than I will ever require for the rest of my life. That's what this channel is about. If you don't think that's what I'm here for, you don't get the message. If you think I'm a political pundit, or you think I'm a shill for a publicly traded company, you're not listening. You're not paying attention to what we're doing here. This channel is followed by people who want to make money and are sick and tired of being kicked around by the shills out of Wall Street, the analysts that are full of BS, the ridiculous analysts who make predictions that have no basis in reality. People who are watching this channel are here going, you know, Uncle Bruce, I've tried it all for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I tried following these investment gurus from the 90s and the 2000s, and I followed all the guests that were on the CNBC network, and I followed all the pundits' predictions about this, that, and the other thing. And at the end of the day, I found your channel because of GameStop 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I found your channel because you're talking about SOFI, and somehow you popped into my screen. Somehow YouTube recommended me to come here and give you a peek. And you're doing stuff and talking about stuff that no other YouTube channel does. Like, you're really off the grid, man. You don't do anything. You don't have a fancy screen with computer logistics and graphs and resistance and support levels and trend levels. You don't even trade. All you do is sit in a chair that you bought at Costco in front of a whiteboard here that if you show it all, will glare at you. It's all just white glare. With a Rugman poster over here that half my channel doesn't know what that means. And you're here going, I'm Uncle Bruce. Why don't you write stock options and make money instead? And I didn't leave right away. I got brought here somehow, and I didn't walk away right away because I thought, well, this guy's channel's been around since 2020, and he's not a big channel. He's got, whatever, 80,000 subscribers or whatever the hell it is, but he doesn't have like a huge audience. But his viewers over here sure are awful happy that he's on every day. And I notice it's the same people every day. They just keep coming back. Why don't they leave this guy? And then I find out, hanging out with this guy a little longer, he has members. This channel, you can join this channel as a member. but it's not $1.99 a month like other channels. There are channels out there you can join for $1.99, $4.99 a month, and get some kind of benefit from it. Now, this guy has the audacity to say, you want to be a junior member of my channel? $10 a month. You want to be a bona fide senior member of this channel and really benefit from this channel? You're going to become one of these people. You're going to become a Gold Bagel member. But if you do, you get a ton of benefits that others don't get. Why are there more Gold Bagel members on this man's channel than regular members? They're paying 2.5 times as much, and there's more of them than at $10. Why don't you stick around here a while and find out for yourself? I'm sick and tired of telling you why you want to be a Gold Bagel member. Hang around here a while, you'll figure it out. Look, I've done classes now since 2021. I've made classes on how you can become an option writer, and a whole bunch of you have taken these classes and are still taking these classes. There are now 18 of them, and I suggest if you want to get into this, you start with class number 1 and then take 2 and then go to 3 and go to 4, because you'll find that each class builds on the last one. It's like a soap opera, just builds on. You get figured out, oh, so-and-so murdered so-and-so because he was a distant second cousin to the whatever. Yeah, you'll understand the whole thing. But the reality is that after a couple of classes or lessons that people take around here, they already start to write options. They start writing options within a couple of classes because they figured out after lesson number 2, he's telling us how to write options. I got stock. I can write options on this stuff. After the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th class, you figure out, oh my God, I can do poor my cover calls. Oh my God, I can do credit spreads. Oh my God, I can do that. I don't know what it means, but I can do all this. I got to watch this guy's classes to figure all this out, because these people here who are talking, especially the ones with the green ink on their names and green ink with an avatar beside it, these folks are like the happiest people on the planet. Like they're just loving life. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's because they took 18 classes or 12 or 17 and are still taking them and are writing all kinds of different option strategies. And they figured out, I am never going back. Uncle Bruce, I am never going back again to being the idiot where I'm the patsy and I'm being run over by these slick talking New York Wall Street boys and girls that I don't understand half of what they're saying. Their gobbledygook lingo and their gobbledygook charts and their resistance and support levels and all that. This is crap to me. Why would I ever go back to that when I can be here? And in plain English, Bruce can tell me and my fellow viewers can tell me, do this, do that, and just do that. And forget about the rest of it. Make the dough. Take the money. There's a movie you have to watch if you want to learn how the stock market works. Hollywood has made it easy for you. Hollywood made it easy for you in 1982-83. It's an hour-and-a-half comedy. It's a funny movie. It's dated now. It's dated, but it's relevant because you watch this movie from 43 years ago, because tomorrow's 2025. You watch this movie from 42, 43 years ago, and you will get a pretty quick understanding of how the stock market works. Believe it or not, in a comedy with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd and Ms. Curtis, Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm talking about this movie right here, Trading Places. You remember this movie, Trading Places? There's Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd in a pretend scene in New York on the Commodities Exchange. You remember these guys, the Duke brothers, the bad guys? Look at this office. This is a 1983 pretend replication of a senior executive office run by a brokerage firm that specializes in commodities. And you'll see all the little plates in front of Eddie Murphy there with orange juice and a slice of bacon and a piece of bread and a cup of coffee and whatever. The Commodities Exchange. And these boys are explaining to Eddie Murphy how the market works and how people make wagers on the future prices of commodities that people use all the time. Of course, one guy was a winner in this movie. They tried to make Eddie Murphy a winner, and they tried to make Winthorpe a loser, and they almost succeeded in making Winthorpe a loser. But in the end, Winthorpe and Billy Ray Valentine got together and screwed the old men over by figuring out their game and winning. The bottom line is this: the most respected people in the United States, in the UK, in Canada, in every industrialized country, in every like the European Union, the country, all 20 whatever countries, the most respected people in these countries, generally speaking, are the top finance people of these countries. So you have Christine Lagarde, who runs the EU Central Bank. You've got Mr. Powell in the United States. You've got Jamie Dimon. You've got the chairman of all these other and CEOs of these other brokerage firms in the United States. In Canada, the big six bankers, the top CEOs of the top banks in Canada, the top investment professionals for ETF funds, the Blackstone people, Schwab's people, Fidelity's people. Every country in the industrialized world, like say the top 20 in Japan and South Korea and elsewhere that are part of this thing, the top most respected people and some of the richest people on the planet, certainly the top 1 percentile of the wealthiest people in the world, generally speaking, are bankers and CEOs of brokerage firms and many of their associates. And of course, the Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett, and all the followers and ETF guys and hedge fund people that you've never heard of. Thousands of hedge fund CEOs and CFOs and top directors and partners of thousands and thousands of hedge funds around the planet who you will never know, you will never meet, and don't want to know who you are the wealthiest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% class on the planet. And all of them, more or less, have one thing in common. The one thing in common that they all have, from whatever region of the world they come from, they're bookies. They take your bets, and it's all legal, perfectly legal, and governments support them to the nth degree because governments are addicted to the wealth effect that these people have in the economic world in which we live. And if you watch the movie, I'm trying to think of some of the movies that you can watch. Of course, Margin Call. You want to watch Margin Call. You want to watch the movie Short Sale? What's that movie with all about the housing crisis? Remember the one about the housing crisis with Corral and all those actors? I'm on a tangent right now. Hollywood has made it easy for you to understand how the markets work by watching some of these movies. And Hollywood directors have they've done an incredible job in some cases to really take very complicated financial structures and bring it down to easy to understand lingo for the rest of us. I'm the guy that tries in plain English on a daily basis to tell you what the hell is going on and why is it going on the way it's going on and where we're going from here. I'm the guy that is doing that. And I don't have fancy screens behind me. I don't day trade. I don't make predictions that today the stock is going to do this. I don't play that game. We have our hopes, wishes, dreams, and aspirations of certain companies doing certain things and doing well. The Big Short, thank you, Depeche. The Big Short is another one. Trading Places is the best. Absolutely. The Big Short is a movie you want to watch. Margin Call, you want to watch that. And Trading Places. Those are 3 easy movies you want to watch. Fun, interesting, unique, different, but interesting as hell. And the bottom line is the top people at the biggest firms in the world when it comes to finance, they represent firms that are basically bookies. They take your bets. They take bets from individuals. They take bets from institutions. So they're the bookies for the largest hedge funds in the world, the largest pension funds, mutual funds, and everything else you can possibly imagine. Trillions and trillions of dollars of the world's economy are managed and looked after by bookies who front themselves as investment bankers and as advisors. And again, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just telling you this is a fact. This is the business that is there. Your job, hanging out with this old fart, is try to find out how you can make your piece of the action. How can you make your piece of the pie bigger than what you're being handed now, or what you're ever going to be handed by anyone that says, I can help you be your financial advisor. And some of you, a very small number of you, believe me and hang out with me all the time and are winning. And you try to tell your friends, you try to show your coworkers, you attempt to help your relatives on what it is you're doing. You try to explain to them, here's what I'm doing with Uncle Bruce. This is what I do. I write options. I'm bringing in option premium. I'm bringing in more money than I ever thought I could bring in from this stock market. It is so stacked against me, in generally speaking, but I have figured out I just do what these other guys are doing. I'm doing what the players are doing, what the Duke brothers are doing, except it's legal. I'm doing the legal stuff, not the illegal stuff. I am doing legal stock option trading. I'm writing contracts willingly to gamblers who are desperate to find a win with not a lot of money, and I am getting richer and richer and richer. That is the bottom line. Dumb Money is another great movie to watch. If you are relatively new to this market in the last 5 years, Dumb Money, you must watch that movie, because it's all about GameStop. And that brought this channel from nothing to where I am today. That got me launched, and we've gone from there. But Dumb Money, bottom line, is made up, a majority of the investors that are represented in the movie Dumb Money are the gamblers. Of course, it's talking about the huge hedge fund players who are still very wealthy. And it talks about Roaring Kitty, who's doing just fine, but it's also talking about a lot of gamblers out there, some of whom won, because there were winners in GameStop, but there were also losers in GameStop. And since that movie was made, that time frame that movie was made in, there have been winners and losers. This channel took the GameStop momentum that exploded out of almost nowhere, and I have exploited it for you to show you how to become an option writer and keep making money in this market on a consistent basis for the rest of your life. And that is why we're here. The bookies out there, you can believe in them all you want, but I will tell you this fact, okay? GameStop shares were as low as $9.95 in the last 24 months. They were as low as $19.95 in the last year. They've been as high as $60+ a share. They're sitting at $32.13 right now. GameStop. There are 2 analysts that follow the stock out of all the hundreds of stock analysts and market analysts that exist just in America. 2 follow this stock, okay? If you've purchased GameStop in the last 2 years at under $25 a share, under $20 a share, you're making a killing. And if you've written option contracts on GameStop by following me, you've made nothing but money. Unless you've been absolutely dead wrong on every trade you've ever made on your GameStop. There are people here who have made more money owning and writing options on GameStop, or owning deep in the money calls on GameStop and writing poor man cover calls, or people who've done cash secured puts, or people who have done credit spread trading on GameStop. More people from this channel have made a pile of money from GameStop, and the stock is at $32.29. Wall Street has 2 analysts that cover this stock. They're not going to help you. There's nowhere you can go, to JP Morgan, to Goldman Sachs, to Bank of America, there is nowhere you can go for advice, serious, detailed advice on GameStop. There's nowhere. SOFI, the stock SOFI. There are 19 analysts that cover the stock SOFI that I'm aware of. 19 are listed as being analysts of SOFI. The average rating on the stock for the last 4 years at best has been a hold. Analysts, when this stock was $6 a share, $7 a share, $8 a share, $9 a share, and stayed there for 3 years. SOFI stayed between $6 and $9 a share for 3 years. All the analysts were averaging a hold rating on SOFI. None of them, not one of them, predicted the stock would ever hit 15 to 16 to 18 bucks a share. None of them talked about the future of this company 4 or 5 years from now. They're all talking about what it was, what it is now, and then they went no further. Wall Street has been useless, completely useless to any investor who wants to follow SOFI. You had to do the homework yourself. You had to dig about what's going on with SOFI and what could be going on with SOFI. Wall Street never did ever any research for you on that stock. Rocket Lab. A year ago, Rocket Lab's low was $3.47 in the last 52 weeks. It's sitting right now in the pre-market at $26.56. Wall Street did nothing to predict this stock's future. Zip. Where was Wall Street for the last 2 or 3 years? What have they been following? 7 stocks. They're following 7 stocks, and that's all they want to talk about to you. They want to talk to you about Tesla. They want to talk to you about NVDA. They want to talk to you about Apple. Now, I'm not complaining about this. I'm just telling you this is the fact. This is what they have been doing. And guess what they're going to talk about for the next year, 2025? The Magnificent Seven. That's what they're going to talk about. They're not going to talk to you about SOFI and GameStop and Rocket Lab and AI or Unity. There's some analysts following it. Yes, some. But they're not going to give you bold predictions of what they're going to be. The only bold predictors of what these stocks can become might be paid shills here and there. But remember, many of the stocks that I'm talking to you about right now have been classic victims of short squeezes. These have been stocks that have been attacked by short sellers over years and years, and the shares have broken out because the short sellers were wrong. Short sellers of GameStop were convinced that this company would go out of business 2020, 2021. All the shopping malls in America were shut down. If every shopping mall is locked up and you can't go to a shopping mall, how can GameStop survive? That was the thinking. Their sales were dropping. People are buying games online, digital. Why would GameStop exist? Why are there still 3,000 plus GameStop stores in business at the end of 2024? And how on God's green earth can a company that is expected to go by the way of the dodo bird like Blockbuster, how is it possible that a company like that can raise $4.6 billion in cash through these actual years of 2021, 22, 23, 24? How can they do that? Wall Street isn't there to tell you. They're not there to tell you. They're not telling you. There's 2 analysts that cover GameStop. The only articles you're ever going to read about GameStop is that the company is losing market share and their sales are slipping and brick and mortar is dead. And the story is the same since 2021. They've been wrong for 4 years and they're going to continue to go down the same path because it's so easy to slam this company. At the end of the day, the bookies in Wall Street are not making enough money in commissions from the transactions of GameStop shares and contracts. They're not making enough money. Why? Because GameStop doesn't need to go to Wall Street and say, please help us raise money so we can pay our loans off or we can roll our loans forward another 3, 4, 5 years. If GameStop was in a position right now where they owed Wall Street and its bankers $3 billion in debt, and they were coming to Wall Street every 6 months to 7 months, 8 months to raise another $500 million, $400 million of which is to roll over old debt and $100 million fresh cash to keep on going, they would be recommended by all kinds of analysts on Wall Street. Why is it that analysts on Wall Street recommend Norwegian cruise stock to you, to Carnival cruise stock to you? They call Royal Caribbean one of the greatest solid investments of all time. These three companies are one transmittable disease away from bankruptcy, because these cruise lines are so leveraged into debt with higher interest rates that we've had in the last 2 years, and that the rates aren't going down anymore. These cruise lines are so vulnerable to an oil price spike to $100 a barrel if war breaks out. If the Strait of Hormuz becomes a shooting gallery and the Mideast crisis lifts any higher, oil goes to $120 a barrel. Cruise lines, airlines will go out of business in weeks, because every single Western-based G20 traveler will not be able to afford to travel. We'll be down to the top 10 percentile only that will be afforded a plane ticket. If American Airlines says to you to fly from New York to LA return was $500, and now it's $1,500 because oil has gone to $150 a barrel, half the clients won't fly American Airlines. They'll drive their cars. If they have to get to LA, they'll find alternate forms of transportation. Cruise lines will be out of business in weeks. Airlines will be completely destroyed and reorganized. Bank ratings, bond ratings of all the debt that Wall Street has pushed and pushed and pushed onto every book of every hedge fund, mutual fund, ETF, pension fund, left, right, and center, these will be downgraded to junk status faster than you can spit. And they will be dumped. And these yields will be 20, 25, 30%. It will be a bloody disaster. The economy of the United States and the Western world is sitting on stilts. Always has been, always will. The perception is, where is this market going and where is this economy going as a whole? And are we sitting on a solid based economy that we can build off of? That's what investors want to know. Investors want to know that if I buy GameStop shares today, will kids want to play video games a year from now? Will adults want to play video games a year from now? Because there are adults now in their 30s and their 40s who are buying video games to this day because that's what they did in 1990, 2000 when they were kids. They're still playing the video games because watching television is crap. ABC, NBC, and CBS have garbage on their networks. The only product that you want to watch is NFL football and the NCAA tournaments, the live sports. This business of the media, this business of alternate entertainment has been completely shattered into a zillion little pieces, and people watch YouTube videos most evenings. More people watch YouTube videos in the evenings than watch a television show. And that's destroying the value of these so-called monsters of media. And at the end of the day, companies like GameStop with gaming do just fine, even though gaming is going digital, Bruce. It's all going online. You don't understand. Really? Amazing. A $4.6 billion cash balance company going out of business. Anyway, it is what it is. Wall Street is, they're bookies, and they're here to take your wagers. And the good news is you watching me learning how to write stock options in the most basic format all the way to credit spreads, which isn't complicated once you understand how complicated option writing can actually be. I'm keeping you on a 2-lane highway. I'm purposely not showing you and trying to get you on the 8-lane expressway over there because you're going to get wiped out. You are better off right here, preserving the capital you have, preserving the wealth you have, and compounding the wealth you have here on forward. I'm a guy who's saying to you, I'm helping you help Wall Street get richer. You are offering liquidity to a part of the market that is the fastest growing area of investing in the world. It is the options market. More dollars are coming into the market, and its percentage growth is at the highest level in its recorded history. There will be double the number of option gamblers gambling on the option market in the next 5 years. You are going to help them gamble their fortunes away. You will read and you will see movies and you will see television specials and you will hear stories and all of people who are winners, who are gamblers buying options on company blah that went from here to here in price, and they had a ton of options and made a fortune. You're always going to get those stories. We heard them with GameStop, we heard them with NVDA, we hear them all the time. Palantir, and on it goes. What you don't hear, but what you will experience personally, is you will not see a lot of articles about how many people are losing everything playing the options market because they don't know what they're doing. And they're going long. They're buying calls to make a big fortune that never happens. The winners on those trades are the casinos that offer the platform for gamblers. In other words, bookies. You are becoming a bookie because I am making you a casino, a miniature little old casino right out of your rec room, out of your bedroom, out of your office, at home, at your cubicle at work, or wherever you are. I am turning you into casinos. I'm turning you into bookies who are offering bet opportunities, wager opportunities to gamblers desperate enough to give you money for a contract or 10 or 50 or 100 contracts that are absolutely worthless. They have no tangible value of any kind other than the amount of time that they're good for. That's all you're offering. You're offering a ticket to a horse race that might last 1 week, 2 weeks, and 3 weeks. This race is not a 2-minute race at Belmont. This is a 3-week contract that expires. It's out of the money, and you're offering it through credit spreads, through cash secured puts. You're writing 1-year cash secured puts for ridiculous premiums. Whatever it is you're doing, you're working on a cash basis. You don't even have to own a single share of stock to be the casino that you could become. You can earn interest on money that isn't yours to the nth and nth degree, and you can get rich by offering people an opportunity to get rich who are not going to get rich. That's what this channel is all about. That's what I do. And this channel is a specialty niche channel. It has become that. It didn't start out that way. This channel did not start out as a specialty channel like that. By the time January 21 rolled around and I went live every day to talk to you about GameStop and meme stocks and the market itself hitting new highs, I was trying to answer trying to give plain answers in plain English to complicated questions, or questions that you thought were complicated but actually aren't. But this channel quickly pivoted into April, May, and June of 21 away from the let's go to the moon philosophy of trading to the why don't we just take money out of the market all the time, from all these stupid people who don't want to learn how the market actually works. They don't want to study how it is the Wall Street brokers are working against them. They don't want to know that. They just want to find a lottery ticket. That's all. I know the game is rigged, they say. Everyone who buys a lottery ticket knows that when I put this money on the counter at my 7-Eleven or Circle K and I buy these lottery tickets, I'm probably going to lose. They know that. They're just not putting 20 grand on the table. They're putting a $20 bill on the table, buying a Powerball bunch of tickets. But they know that the payoff to them is minuscule. The odds of them getting their money back are minuscule. The odds of making any kind of money on the trade at all is almost unheard of. And the billion-dollar winner, you don't know. I bet you all of you don't know a billion-dollar winner of a lottery personally. You don't know them. Because there are a handful of them a year, 5 a year, 8 a year, across 350 million Americans? I mean, what's the odds? Welcome to the party, pal, where the market is stacked against you. Wall Street have bookies with university degrees that you don't understand. They understand quantum physics calculations in their heads. They have software programs that take it beyond that. They have, in effect, quantum mathematicians making software programs to make those programs 25,000 times smarter than these quantum people are to help Wall Street make money in the market against you and people out there like you. And your job is to say, okay, they're smarter than I am. They have more money than I have. They have more power. They bribe politicians through super PACs. They stack the Senate Banking Committee with their favorite senators. They stack the Congress and all the people who run Congress subcommittees with people that their super PACs help get elected. They make sure that the folks at the SEC fear them, so that they enact policies that can get done. They make sure that they get rid of Democratic presidents and put in Republican presidents. No matter how many felony convictions they have, they will stop at nothing to get the people into power positions that they need so that their game, being bookies to the world, stays in place. And at the end of the day, your government in Canada, in America, and every other government in the world, whether it's a federal or a state, provincial government, or a city government, county government, all of these government entities are addicted and need Wall Street and people like the Wall Streeters everywhere else on the planet to help them raise enough money to fund their deficit spending. The American people, unfortunately, and Canadian people and all the others have governments that are addicted to deficit spending to continue to exist because the politicians have been told by the bankers, don't you dare balance your budget. Don't even bother thinking about that. We need you addicted to our crack cocaine, which is money. Money you haven't got. And we want you to continue to fund your operations on the future generations that your people will create through birth and immigration and what have you, so that we can keep this game going. Because those of us here in Wall Street cannot have a shrinking bond market. We cannot afford to have the United States government make more money than it needs to pay its bills. They talk the talk to get elected, but they never execute the plan. And at the end of the day, we in Wall Street need an expanding bond market. We need an expanding equity market. We need the Fed to keep printing more dollar bills and convince more people to get into this game so that we can take a larger slice, and as big a slice as we've always taken, but in larger dollar terms every year. And that way, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, name your top 20 banks in America, your top 20 brokerage outfits in America, and tell me, is there anywhere you can go to figure out how many private jets they have? Is there anywhere you can go to find out how many hours of private jet charter time these people pay for? The largest health providers in the United States own private jets for their top executives. The tobacco companies own private jets. The automobile manufacturers, when this president of GM has to go to Washington for a hearing, they fly in on a private jet and they fly back to Detroit on a private jet. Every hedge fund that is worth anything over 100 million, 500 million, a billion or more, let's say a billion or more, they have access to private jets. This world exists up here for those who are privileged enough or sharp enough or savvy enough to get into it. The remaining 95% of us are in the upper middle class, the middle class, or we're out. And in the entire world's population of, 7 billion people? How many people live on this planet? I don't even know anymore. Is it 5 billion, 8 billion? I really don't care. What I'm telling you is, my hunch is that 95% of the people of the planet Earth make less than $30,000 a year, make less than $10,000 a year, and will never be a factor economically or politically in the world that you are exposed to because you're part of the Western world. Irrelevant, powerless. Welcome to the party, pal. It's 2024 going into 2025. What's going to happen in 2025? A clown show of epic proportions is about to begin in Washington, D.C., which then means that is the first domino to start the chain reaction. The clown show will affect the rest of the planet, and it will affect the stock market, the bond market, the currency market, interest rates, job creation, immigration, and wars will be affected by what happens starting the third week of January of this year. That is a fact from your buddy Uncle Bruce, who's just talking to you in plain English. That's all I'm doing. Don't want to rile you up, just want to make you aware of what is about to happen. And here we have the last week and a half, the market getting jittery. Stock market can't get direction. Just doesn't want to go up 1,000 points a day anymore. It doesn't want to go up 150 points a day anymore. We're getting 800-point drops and 300-point recoveries. We're getting more volatile. It has begun. It has begun. And now, what is your move? And my recommendation has been pretty clear now for several months. And I don't know how plainly I can tell you. If you are truly going to be an option writer and you're going to live off of your investments, which to me means your money, assets equal money, you can't have assets. You can't hold stock in this market right now. You would be an idiot to be all into stocks right now at these all-time highs. No one's going to tell you to sell except me. I'm telling you to sell your stuff and be in a cash position and write options from a cash position. You're getting a dividend on your cash. This is the thing that blows people away. You can buy IBM stock and get a 3.5% yield on your money as a dividend. The top investment gurus of the world tell you it's good to have an investment account that pays a good dividend. Well, how would you like a dividend that's kind of like 5%? You tell me how many stocks you can find that are on the Dow 30, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100. You tell me how many of all of those stocks will pay you a 5% yield on your money based on what these shares are trading at right now. Almost none of them. The only stocks that are paying 5% or more in dividend yield are stocks that might not be able to keep paying these dividend yields because the underlying business of these companies is faltering and the stock prices have dropped so much that the yields are now over 5%. But pros in New York will go, well, that company's going to cut its dividend in half. That company's going to cut its dividend by 90%. They are losing money. They can't afford to pay the dividend. Right now, you have cash. You can haul in 5% on your money by buying the right ETF right now in treasury yields, bond yields. You can get more than 5% on your money if you want to buy into ETFs out there that follow the corporate bond market, that lend to telephone companies, that lend to real estate development companies, that lend money to airlines, that lend money to cruise ship lines, that lend money to other businesses across the spectrum. You can get 7, 8, 9% return on your money. This is a dividend that is coming to you that you can't get from any Wall Street investment through the S&P 500, Dow 30, or NASDAQ 100. In other words, you go to cash and you're going to get a 5% dividend yield on your money. That's the way I look at it. And if you sell stock like GameStop at $32.20 and turn right around and write $35 cash secured puts or $30 cash secured puts out to Jan 26 as just an example, that's only a 1-year out contract, you could probably haul in close to 40% more cash on top of the cash you need to create the position. So now you have 140% cash in your account instead of 100% of all your money in a stock. And your 140% investment in cash is earning 5% interest. You're getting interest on the money that you don't own. Someone else's money on top of your money. So you took 10 grand and turned it into $14,000 by liquidating the stock and writing cash secured puts in a theoretical investment. You have 14 grand now in your account in cash, getting 5% interest on that cash. You're getting $700 a year in interest on the cash in your account, of which only 10,000 is yours. In other words, you're making 7% on your $10,000. How do you think Wall Street's getting richer? How do you think banks get richer? They make money on your money. Why don't you make money on the gambler's money that they're willing to give you? Stock goes up in price. You're going to roll these put contracts. You're going to buy them back for way less than you sold them for and write a new set of contracts at a higher strike price. And now your 14 grand is $18,000, of which only 10,000 is originally yours. Now you're hauling in $900 a year in interest on an $18,000 balance, of which you only have 10 grand involved, you're now getting 9% on your money. Stock goes higher. GameStop goes to 40, 45. SOFI goes to 25, goes to 30. You're going to roll another put contract. You're now going to have $24,000 in cash in your account versus the original $10,000 of stock. You're going to earn interest on $24,000, $1,200 a year on your $10,000 original money. That's 12% return, 1% a month. How do you think the rich get richer? They're compounding their wealth off of their clients. I'm trying to get you to do the same thing. This is the simplest way to become very wealthy from where you are now. I can't turn you into a billionaire, but I can turn you into a richer person. Can I help you take 10 or 20 grand and turn it into 30, 40 grand? Can I help you with 50 grand and help you turn it into 80 to 100? Can I help you with 300,000 and help you turn it into 500,000? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. These same trades are at any dollar level. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't have to be GameStop. It doesn't have to be SoFi. It doesn't have to be AI. There are so many areas you can go with this option writing campaign. The returns are unfathomable once you start compounding them back and forth and back. And it doesn't matter if the markets go up or down or stay where they are. You're able to do rollovers. You're able to do adjustments. You're able to change the rules. You're the casino. You control the game, which is what the Duke brothers wanted to do, except they wanted to cheat. These guys over here weren't happy enough. They weren't satisfied enough being multimillionaires in 1982, 83, these fictional guys. They decided to play the orange juice market game and think that they could corner the market and play it dirty. The reality was that these two guys were living in a mansion, were being driven to work every day in a Rolls Royce with a chauffeur, were members of the most exclusive clubs in America. They had it all. It wasn't enough, and so they wanted more. That's all. That's the moral of the movie. At the end of the day, the little guys screwed the big guys, but they played their game. These little guys played the exact same game that the other guys were playing. And I'm saying to you out there, do what the hedge funds are doing. Do what the brokerage firms are doing. Use other people's money that is being offered to you for nothing and make money off of their money, while at the meantime enjoying the market and winning on winning trades and getting exercised on cash secured puts. You take the stock, you sell the stock, you write more cash secured puts. You keep playing the same game over and over and over again, and you compound and compound and compound your returns. And the interest just keeps coming in. And if interest rates want to go up 1% this year, you are the happiest person on the planet, along with Wall Street. Because Wall Street's kind of going, well, yeah, interest rates went up a point. You know, that $10 trillion we're sitting on, we're all going to get 1% more interest on that $10 trillion. We actually win when the rest of the world loses. You win. Your friends and your coworkers and your relatives and anyone you know that doesn't do what you're doing will not earn the money you're earning. And you can't help them. You're going to try. I know you are. You have morals. You feel for your friends and your relatives. You really wish your coworker would listen to you and do what you're doing, because for the last 2 years you've been here and you've been writing options and you're now learning how to do credit spread writing and you're now knowing all about put credit spreads and all of that. And you cannot convince, you cannot, as desperately as you are trying, you cannot get a friend to join you. And that's just the way of the world, my friend. Look, trading places have been out there since 1983. People who could have become Eddie Murphy's character and Dan Aykroyd's character since 1983. Of all the people that are in the stock market, less than 5% write options. And of those, 90% of the writers are probably institutional writers. The retail writing option writer is a very rare bird indeed. And articles that you are being bombarded with now at the end of this year, that you're going to get bombarded with coming up, are talking about the incredible amount of trading that's going on in the options market, especially 0 days to expiry, the gambling that's going on with people's mortgage payments, grocery bills, cash advances from credit card trading that is going on is unthinkably scary. There are middle-class Americans, Canadians, Brits, and upper middle class and whatever that are gambling everything they have on the options market, thinking that they are smarter than the rest of the market, and all they need is one lucky break to buy contracts for 10 grand and turn them into $100,000 in one day, and all my problems are solved. This happens with horse races, this happens with boxing matches, this happens with NFL games, with sports betting, with fantasy league betting. Common tale. And if you have a friend, a relative, a buddy, someone you know that all they can talk to you about is how happy they are being a sports bettor, you've got a gambler on your hands. You have an habitual, addicted gambler in front of you. They're wonderful people. They're responsible. They go to church. They have families and kids. But everything they are and everything they think about and everything they want to do is play the game. And they want the action. They crave the action. They're addicted to gambling. And it's only a matter of time before cracks appear in their financial foundations. With you guys being with me here, you're writing stock options to gamblers who are dying to buy them. And they will give you money that is unfathomable and makes no sense. You are taking money off their hands going, I can't believe I got this much money from my contracts. I cannot believe how much money they just gave me from these contracts. But you had to come to this little old channel. You had to come to a YouTube channel where there's an old fart with almost no hair left, and whatever's left is white, all forehead, no fancy screens, no fancy anything. And you have to watch and tolerate this to understand this part of the stock market, because there is no fancy channel you can go to with slick talking people, because you don't understand what the hell they're talking about. They don't make any damn sense. And at the end of the day, most of the option channels that are out there, if there are any other so-called stock option channels, they're talking about hitting long shots, making quick money. Let's do a trade for today only. Let's do a trade just for a couple of days. Long shot option trading people out there. There are day traders out there who are doing it. I have no idea. I have no time to look at these other guys. I'm doing what I've been doing. I am giving you what I have been aware of since 1979. That's how old I am. And that's how long I've been in this game or been aware of this game. And there are some great Hollywood movies out there to get a handle on what's been going on. But in real life, I'm real life. And thank you all for being part of this channel. Mr. Premium of the Options says it every day. He says it right. It's time to fill our pockets. Absolutely. John T. Hey, thank you, Uncle Bruce, for all you've taught me. Honest question, do you actually trade too? No, I don't. I don't trade. If you're obviously brand new here, I do not trade contracts. I don't trade options. I don't trade stocks. Nothing. I have no conflict of interest with any of you. So I'm not playing games with options over here while I'm trying to tell you, oh, this is a good idea. Here's something to watch for. Here's something. No, I don't do that. I'm like a high school teacher. I'm like a high school teacher who's here to tell you about what's going on in this market. And I'm offering you some classes and courses where you can educate yourself on how this works. And you're the trader. Anytime I ever tell a friend about selling cash secured puts, I get a responses of either sounds complicated or options. Everybody loses money on those. I tell them I need a marker board to explain it better. I know. Oh, I know this. I like this guy, Sishin. And I tell people that option writing is not a get rich quick scheme, but rather an actual at a way more accreted rate than old fashioned index funds. It's true. I call it keeping the change. That's what I like to call it. It's called keep the change. People got rich doing the game called keep the change, where you write an option, bring in $3,000, and buy the contract back for $500, and you keep the $2,500. You keep the change, and then write another set of contracts for $3,000, buy them back for $500 as they shrink out to nothing, and say here you keep the change. You're the one getting rich. Nice going. Thank you all so much. Bagel Babe, my options bring me consistent monthly income. I'm trying my hand at day trading with small amounts, but I only have the confidence to do that because my options are my bread and butter. Bagel Babe, I'm lucky number 113 on Bruce's thumbs up meter today. Thank you everyone so much. I appreciate you all. There are a lot of ETFs that pay out 8 to 15% dividends because they write options on stock and pay out premiums as dividends, says the man. Thank you all. What else is going on? Happy New Year's, New Year, everybody, from Juan. Thank you so much. Larry, thank you so much for being here and hitting the bells for me every day. I so appreciate it. This is absolutely wonderful. Matthew, good morning, Melbourne. I have got classes queued up for when I get off work, and I sent you an email. Have a great day, everybody. My classes are today $150 each. Tomorrow, they're $200 each. Starting tomorrow, the prices go up to $200 a class, all 18 of them. My one-on-ones, if you want a one-on-one session, they're $400 a piece at the moment. Starting tomorrow, they're $500 each. I've mentioned this now for a month and a half. This should come as no surprise to any of you. So any of you want to grab any of these classes today for $150 a piece, you can still go to the website to do so. If you need help getting a bunch of classes, you want to buy 10 classes for $1,500, you can always send me a private email and say, Bruce, I want to buy 10 classes. I'll send you $1,500. How do I do it? I'll then give you a link to my PayPal account where you can just send the $1,500 there. So tell me the 10 classes you want, what numbers, and I'll send you the private links directly. Okay. If any of you have a problem with the website, you can't get a link to work, or you bought a class and you can't find it now, let me know with an email, private email. I will send you the link and we'll get you set up. Okay. One-on-ones, I've got people who've been buying one-on-ones for the last 3 weeks who now want to have one-on-ones in the next 2 or 3 months. I'm happy to do that with you. I'll take your $400 now, and I've got you written down for your lesson, your one-on-one session, and then when it's convenient, we'll get together. Starting tomorrow, the lessons are $500 each. Thank you so much for your support of this channel. Thank you, everyone who is a subscriber to this little channel on YouTube with less than 100,000 subscribers. Thank you for joining the specialty finance channel talking about how you can make money writing stock options. I thank you all for being subscribers. I thank you all for becoming members of this channel. I thank you so very, very, very much for that. The fact that you are joining us as a Gold Bagel member, which is the upper echelon of this channel, says a lot to me that you are serious about making money in this stock market. You're not here for fun. You're not here because you think that you can find the one trade that will change your life. You are willing and wanting to become a full-blown, consistent option writer, and you are looking to bring income into your accounts on a consistent basis, day in, day out, week in, month in, month out, non-stop. Thank you all for joining this channel as Gold Bagel members. We're open now. We're open for trading. The markets have fired up, and I'm looking forward to another fun, interesting session here as we close out the year. We've got a poll question going today that says this will happen in 2025. SoFi hits $30 a share, GameStop hits $50 a share, Rocket Lab hits $40 a share, or option number 4, I will write options and be richer. 35% of you are saying, I'm going to write options and get richer. 42% are saying SoFi hits $30 a share. And 18% say GameStop hits 50, and 5% of you say Rocket Lab hits 5. We have 275 answers to that question already in the house. Thank you for doing that. We have 143 thumbs ups already on the go. Thank you for 143 thumbs ups so far on this channel. Thank you, all of you who are here. And again, I am thrilled that you're with us today, and so much looking forward to a wonderful 2025, no matter how crazy it's going to be. Thank you all for being part of the family here. I can't begin to tell you what it means to us. Vivash is in the house. Welcome all to the program. Thank you again. Ricardo, I sent you the money. We'll send you an email later today. Right on. After my show's over, I will go through all my emails, and any dollars that come through or any requests, I will take care of you. Thank you, Larry, for hitting the bells. And ALA and Richard Carlin are doing what has to be done. Neat emojis are being shown off to honor the Knights of Knee that control all our markets. You think Trump controls the market? You think Elon Musk controls the market? No, it's the Knights of Knee. You are totally clueless if you haven't been here long enough that the Knights of Knee actually control everything. Who are the Knights of Knee? Oh my God. You're going to have to do a Google search. You're going to have to do a YouTube search. Enter Knights of Knee in a YouTube search. You'll find videos about how powerful these guys are. It's unbelievable. I do the best I can with what little I have. D.A. Truda, thank you. James, Juan, Boeing Tiger, Nate. You all know what must be done to make sure this market works for you. They must honor and respect the power of the Knights of Knee. That's it. If you don't believe it, you just don't get it. Doing what I can. I'm just a guy in front of a computer in Calgary where it's really cold out, just trying to warn you that there are powers that run this market, and it's really the Knights of Knee. Welcome to the party, pal. Nice to have you with me. Tomorrow, Jen and I are traveling. I will not be on the air tomorrow. The markets are closed. So Jen and I are heading to Palm Springs, California tomorrow. And I will be broadcasting to you, and Jen will be popping in to say hi to you Thursday from Rancho Mirage, California. And I'm looking forward to that very, very much. Don't forget, Bruce. I won't forget. ALA safe travels tomorrow. Uncle Bruce and Auntie Jen. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, all of you, for being here this morning. We're open. We're running. We'll see what this market's going to do. I see the Dow up 153. Don't get excited. We were down, 800 points at one point yesterday morning, and then we came back to be down 200 something, and then we lost whatever the hell we lost. We got to be up 500 points in the first hour to kind of get back what was lost yesterday. I don't know if that's going to happen. So we're up 1/4 percentage point. So let's just calm the hell down here. S&P is up 19 points. That's 1/3 of a point. NASDAQ is up 64 points, not even 1/3 of a point. So we don't have a recovery here. We just have a pause. We might just whimper out today. We might have a surge here. We might have a pullback. I don't know. It's the last day of the year. We'll see what happens. Crude oil is up 43 cents. It shouldn't be, but it is. 71.42 is where we're at right now on crude oil. I pity the rest of the world other than the G20, the rest of the planet where they're getting hammered by the US dollar's strength, and oil is at 71.43. Remember, the Saudis and the OPEC members, they sell oil in US dollars. They're not stupid. They're very smart. They sell oil in US dollars, and they don't mind if the US dollar goes up in value against all these other currencies, because all this cash that is coming in to their treasuries, in their governments, and in their fiefdoms, and through their bribes to everyone else, is from American dollars. So the stronger the American economy gets, the stronger the American currency gets against everyone else, the richer these guys get, because the folks who generate income from selling oil to the rest of the planet in American money, they take that money and buy things from themselves and through their friends and neighbors and what have you, who in many cases we have a third world country buying product from another third world country, and they're buying it in American money. And so they're getting very much richer the higher the US dollar goes. And there you have it. Americans, unfortunately, can't figure it out. Canadians are like this, and some other Western governments are like this. I'm not picking on Americans. I love Americans. But the reality is that so many normal, common people in certain countries, Canada, US, Mexico, Britain, elsewhere, we are so gullible, and we have been so fooled, and we have been so hoodwinked that we believe that if the oil prices stay nice and high, that our country is stronger. And that is not true. Every Western citizen of Western-based countries would be so much better off if oil were at $40 a barrel, because the first thing that would happen is crude being produced now that shouldn't be produced will stop being produced. Uneconomic oil will be just shut down. If we're down to $40 a barrel, that must mean we are using much less of the commodity. And if we were to use a lot less of this commodity as a planet, our planet would be better off, just from an environmental point of view. But economically, the United States would be so much more powerful as a company, as would Canada, as would Britain, as would Norway, Germany, France. Because if the Western economies that are dependent on oil are no longer as dependent on oil, that means the enemies of all of these countries, and you can rattle off all the enemies you want. There are countries that are not necessarily friends of Germany, France, Italy, Canada, the United States, Japan, and others. They're not friends. These entities now will become economic basket cases because the amount of capital that they would be bringing in would be down by half, which means all of these countries would be running deficits that are unsustainable, and we will have turnovers of governments by themselves. They will have their own revolutions and they will have all of their own strife and problems, pain, but they won't have the money. They won't have the budget to buy as many bullets, missile systems, and other destructions of killing machines that they have now to cause problems to some of us. It's absolutely amazing how gullible we've become and how addictive our actual governments are to the oil business. Canadian government, government of Canada, the government of Alberta, where I live, this province, the city of Calgary, the city I'm in, all this area are addicted to the price of oil. Absolutely addicted to the price of oil and the finding of it, the bringing it up out of the ground, refining of it, and exporting of it. It's unbelievable how addicted we are. This province that I live in has wheat fields, oats, canola, grain all around us. We grow so much food around here, we can't eat it all. We export 90% of what we grow because we only need 10% of it to live on. We have so much. We have cattle being grown all around us. We have all kinds of agricultural stuff. Canada produces more food than it can ever consume in a year. Canada is a breadbasket. So is the United States. We produce maybe not the best quality grain like we used to because it's all now engineered and whatever, but that's another story. We produce more food than we need, and yet we're more dependent on energy prices to be higher to create energy jobs. We have hoodwinked ourselves into thinking prosperity is where we drill, baby, drill. It's the opposite of prosperity, the complete opposite. We should learn to use less of commodities that we can't produce enough of and energize ourselves to produce more of the commodities the rest of the world needs. The rest of the world needs wheat, canola, oats, pork, beef, fish, chicken, whatever. It needs technology. It needs our smarts. It needs our engineering smarts. That's what the world actually needs. It doesn't need us to produce raw materials at the cost of our ecology and our environment. Useless. Why are we burning fuel when we can plug a car into a wall and generate electricity into our cars? We fool ourselves into believing electric cars are the enemy. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. If that's the case, if electricity is the problem, why are we so addicted to electricity for everything else? Heart operations and brain operations cannot happen without electricity. Cars have to have gas? Where's this coming from? Where's this 1910 technology? Why is this so important to us? The coal industry fought like crazy not to be extinct, to become extinct in the last 40 years. Why were we still burning coal? Just even now, from the 1700s to now, we're still burning coal? What is wrong with our humanity? Well, we have got people with interests that are sitting on massive mounds of this stuff. We have oil companies sitting on massive amounts of this stuff, and they know where to find it. And the thinking is that we can bribe politicians to keep the game going. We can produce oil at these ridiculous prices per barrel, and the public is gullible enough to keep buying gasoline-powered trucks and cars. We're so stupid. We're so gullible. It is laughable. Unfortunately, it's not funny. That's the problem. And while we are making certain of our countrymen much richer and much more stable economically, we are also making very comfortable and very much richer people that are not working in our best interests. And Russia is your classic example. Iran is another example. On they go. All these countries that we have problems with, apparently, because oil is so damn valuable. It is absolutely incredible how we enrich our enemies by our personal behaviors. It's illogical, and yet there you go. Who's going into the White House? Drill, baby, drill. This is the name of the game. It's unbelievable. Remember, though, most of the lawmakers that are in Washington, that are going to be in Washington, many of them are in their 70s and 80s and 90s, okay? They will never leave their offices as long as they can get re-voted back in. If they can find the bribe money to get people to keep voting them back in, they will never leave. And these people will continue to appease their backers. And there are more backers with more money have interests in crude oil and other commodities than the rest of us combined. But then again, we're also to blame. Many of us, we're lazy. We're absolutely lazy people, and we're looking for an easy fix. And we are guilty as charged when it comes to that. It's just the way it is. Welcome to the planet. Don't forget to honor the Knights of Me. I think there's another movie out there called The Casino. That's another good movie to watch. Beach Boy, one-on-one payment. I got it. It came through, my friend. I see it. Dude, it's also important to watch how the movie Bowfinger, once you've watched the movie Die Hard, take the lessons. First, of course, love these shows. Brian, number 150 on the thumbs up meter. Good morning, Uncle Bruce, and everyone here from around the world. Thank you all for joining me today. Hope I'm not upsetting too many of you today. Welcome to the party, pals. 306 people have voted now on my question of the day. 306 votes about what's going to happen in 2025. Thanks again also to those of you who've taken the time to hit the thumbs up button, 154 and counting. 42% of you folks who have answered my question of the day say, I like option number one, Bruce. SoFi's going to hit $30 a share. 35% of you are saying, I'm just going to keep writing options and get richer. That's what's going to happen in 2025, Uncle Bruce. 18% of you are saying GameStop's going to hit $50. Rocket Lab hitting 40 gets a 5% return from my viewers. But between SoFi hitting 30 and writing options to get richer, those are the two answers or options you love the most when it comes to choices answering my poll question of the day. Thank you all for participating in this channel. In any way you can, answer the poll question, hit the thumbs up button, become a subscriber, become a member, grab a class, pick up a one-on-one. Whatever works for you. If I can help you get richer rather than be poorer, my job is being done. And because you guys are getting richer, and there's no way to deny this. There's no way to argue the fact that more people who watch this channel make money than lose money. And I can tell you how I know that. How I know that is I've been on the air since 2021, doing the same thing since 2021, every year. And I'm still here. And my bank account is higher in value than it was in 2021. And yet, in those 4 years, I've been able to get Jennifer to Rancho Mirage for 2 years in a row to give her 2 brand new hips, paid for by your wealth. The money that you've made has trickled down. Some of it, a small portion of it, trickles down, eventually comes to me and Jennifer, and she has 2 new hips because of how much money you're making in the market. The fact that we can go to the desert every winter is another factor right there. The fact that we've gone to Europe 3 years in a row for 10 weeks at a time each time says it all right there. The fact that we keep our apartment in Canada while we're away says it all right there. You have to be making money for Jen and I to be doing what we're doing. It's as simple as that. And are Jennifer and I motivated that you make money? Oh, yeah. Are we ever motivated? We want to hear about how much money you're making in the options market. You're damn right. Every time we make a class, we are hoping people will watch that class and will take that class. And you are. And then you let me know that I am making money, Uncle Bruce. You have helped me make all kinds of money because I used to lose all kinds of money in the stock market. This is good stuff. Stephen Butler, I have one thing to say about 2024 as it draws into a close. Neat. There you go, right there. Earl Harwell, number 154. Dude, my prediction is we're going to do very well. Brian, Uncle Bruce, yesterday my TFSA and my GameStop shares and 6 covered calls were all green at the same time. I took advantage of this and I bought back all the calls and I sold all the shares and I'm transferring my money into my margin account, Brian, so I can write cash secured puts and make more money. I can bring in more money into my account. I want my account to be 30 to 50% cash on cash secured puts, like you have said. Thank you very much. Dude, I like your prediction. I second that. Making money this year. ALA, I know this is not TWB. I know this isn't traveling with Bruce. But I am curious about your travel plans in the spring and summer of 2025. All I know for Jen and I is we are going to be in Rancho Mirage until the end of May. That's all I know. So for the next 5 months, we're in California where it's warm, the grass is green, there are palm trees, and there are swimming pools and hot tubs that I can jump into. That's our plan going for now. What happens in the summer and the fall and the winter of next year hasn't been carved out. We talk about it from time to time, but we kind of realize we don't have to make a decision. We're no longer the kind of people that know we only have 2 weeks holiday a year. We're not those people anymore. We're old. We're going to be 70 this year. So we are technically seniors, and we have the financial capacity to go wherever we want, whenever we want to, for as long as we want to. And that is a direct connection to this YouTube channel and you guys. And so we don't know where we're going because we don't have to know. That's kind of the weird thing about it. It's really amazing. Sorry, Brian says, if people don't know, the TFSA in Canada is a registered account, so you can only buy shares and sell covered calls. It's pretty limited. I want more free money to write cash secured puts. You need a margin account for that. And if you bring your capital into a margin account, then write cash secured puts against the cash that's in there, you bring it up to 30-40% more cash into your account, and now you earn daily interest on all that dough, depending on how you structure your account. This is done in Canada, the US, Britain, Germany, everywhere else, depending on, again, who you are dealing through. Who's your broker? I don't know. What your broker's policies are? I don't know. What your tax policies are in your native country? I don't know. I'm not a tax guy. I am not a broker promoter. I'm a guy that explains to you how you can take $1 of stock and turn it into $1.40 of cash and earn interest on all of it. Thank you very much. And if you can take $300,000 and turn it into $420,000 and earn 5% interest on $420,000, you're making $21,000 a year in interest on all that money. That's what I'm talking about. That is a yield that is better than IBM or any other stock you can buy. That's what I'm talking about. And now you're listening to me going, well, this guy's talking like a banker. He's talking to me like I'm some kind of an insurance company. He's talking to me like I should act like a hedge fund, like a top of the line income generator in London, in Frankfurt, in Milan, in Dubai, in Shanghai, in Tokyo, in Sydney, Australia, in any financial center on the planet. I'm trying to make you act like the top money managers who generally trade for themselves and their close held clients. You're going to notice walking up and down your street in your hometown, wherever you go, whether you're on the internet or not. You're not going to find any financial institution that is going to say, hey, why don't you come into our office and put $10,000 into this account that we have available for you, and we're going to generate 40% returns on cash secured put trading for you and give you interest on your $14,000 for the next year at 5%. You're not going to find a bank in any small town that can talk to you about this. You're going to walk into an Edward Jones office in your little hometown, and you're going to tell them, well, can you help me how to take 10 grand and turn it into $14,000 and earn 5% interest on it through cash secured put writing strategies? And the person behind the counter is going to go, what? We don't do options here. I don't understand what you're talking about. They haven't got a clue. This business has been decimated. There used to be individual stock brokers through certain individual brokerage firms that might talk to you about this kind of a strategy. 1 in 10,000 if you could find them. Today, you need one of these, and you can control your money to the nth degree and bring in capital like you never thought possible. But if you're a sap, if you're a sucker that thinks that you're going to get rich buying call and put options because you think you're smarter than the rest of the option market, you are exactly who my viewers are looking for. My viewers thrive off of idiots like you. Any idiot stupid enough to risk everything they have into option trading is exactly who my viewers take the money from. And there are millions and millions and millions and millions of them, tens of millions of them, and they're coming into the market from around the world. It is incredible how Wall Street has attracted and will attract hundreds of millions more that are coming in here. It is absolutely incredible. Thank you, everybody. Brian, I made about $4,000 in that TFSA account last year, tax-free. Rock and roll. ALA, congrats, Brian. Well done, my friend. As I say, kids, Canadians are making money. Americans are making money. The Brits, the folks in Germany, Netherlands, Spain, Italy, Sweden. If you follow what I talk about here, which is conservative option writing strategies, I can't emphasize enough the conservative side of it, you will make money on top of the money. And you will do this for the rest of your life, and you do not need to be in a hurry to do it. But if you're coming here to find one trade that will change your life overnight, I might not have that. But I think I have the ability to give you the information you need and the tools you need to start turning your account around and stop losing money or having an account that underperforms the street. And many of you out there who found me in the last few years were terribly underperforming the markets. You weren't even matching the S&P 500. This year, you had to make 25% on your money to break even with the S&P 500. How many friends do you know? Relatives, friends, buddies, co-workers. How many do you personally know that made 2%, 5%, 8%, 12%? They didn't make 25%. You take 8 to 10% inflation off the 25%. The S&P made 15% this year. There are people out there you know that didn't make 15%. They lost money to inflation. They lost money to the cost of living. And this is the retirement. There are people out there counting on their retirement plans at work to be worth a certain amount of money or more so they can generate a living in 15 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, whatever that time frame is. And it's not going to happen. It is not happening now. How is it going to happen next year? We've had 2 of the best years of the stock market in history, back to back. What money did you make in the last 2 years? Or better yet, you may have beaten 50% the last 2 years, 25% each year. But how many friends, relatives, and associates do you know that didn't even make 10%? They were taken to the cleaners. That's the scary part about it. Matthew, a good call getting out of the Great White North. Going to be sub-zero next week. It's almost like you know what you're doing. Brian, minus 15 degrees Celsius starts tomorrow in Alberta. I'm starting to like more writing put credit spreads out of money and folding my arms. I kind of like this game, Uncle Bruce. Those of you writing call credit spreads on the Magnificent Seven, way ahead of the market with 1 or 2 weeks, 3 weeks expiry, you're having a field day. Those of you writing put credit spreads on all kinds of other positions, you're having a field day. Those of you doing iron condors and staying on top of your iron condors at all times, you have learned the art of rollover techniques. You're figuring this out. You are going to make a fortune in this stock market compared to the rest of the planet. Some of you are happy making 2, 3, 4, 5, 6% every trade that you do, or in your account on a monthly basis or half monthly basis. There are viewers here who are saying, I make 4% a month on average. I make about 4% a month on average. Been doing it for 3 years. And I started with every dollar I started, it's now worth $5. And it's growing exponentially. 4% on $5 versus 4% on $1. Hello to compounding returns. How do you think Warren Buffett is worth so much money? Compounding returns. How do you think Elon Musk is as valuable as he is? Remember, his company went public, 12 years ago, whatever the hell it was, 15 years ago, I don't even remember. Whatever the price was, $22 a share, 23, 24, I can't even remember. But that stock isn't today's stock, Tesla. For every share of Tesla that anyone purchased at that time, in other words, all the shares of Tesla that Elon Musk got or owned when he took Tesla public, they've split, 3 times, 4 times now? The stock is split. So a single Tesla share is worth, I don't know how many. Can anyone go do me a favor? Go and Google this. One share of Tesla when it went public, how many shares is it now? Tell me how many shares. This is how Elon Musk is worth this much money. It's not that his original 5 or 10 or 20 million shares are worth $2 billion today. That's not it. It's the fact that it's compounded and split over and split over and split over, just like Bill Gates and Microsoft, or the Steve Jobs and Wozniak and all the original Apple people who owned Apple from the beginning, the splits that Apple has had over its 40-year existence. This is what I'm talking about. We're talking about Tesla 15 from 1 initial offering. So if you bought 1 share of Tesla way back there, you now have 15 shares of Tesla today. And Tesla today is trading at approximately $422 a share. So 1 share of Tesla cost you $24 originally. You now have 15 $422 shares worth $630. So your $24 is worth $630. Think about Elon Musk. For every share he had in Tesla, if he had 10 million shares, multiplied by 15 is 150 million shares. And you know, and I know, he's earned stock options all the way along. And any of the stock options he was granted that were granted before the last 1 or 2 stock splits, they have split. So if he's going to get what was supposed to be a 10 million share bonus, and now that's 80 million shares because of 2 splits in a row, he's going to get 80 million more at 421 a share today. This is how he's become exponentially the richest man on the planet. This is what's happened with other insiders of publicly traded companies. Their stocks reach certain levels per share. They do the splits, and these people now have triple the number of shares, quintuple the number of shares that they had next week. And every time the stock goes up $1 from there, they're $5 richer per share for all their shares. This is how it's done. You folks are making 4%, 5%, 8% a month from option writing, and you're compounding it. At the end of a year of making just 4% every month on your money, that should be 48% more on your money, but you're compounding that 4% during the year. You're not 48%, you're up 75%. And are you going to be up 75% again on that money the end of that next year? Likely yes, at 4% a month return. That's what's happening here. And I can't give you 1-year return in 15 minutes, but I can show you ways you can really compound your dough here and now haul in not only your 4% a month on average return, or 6 or 8 or 10 or whatever it is, then I can give you interest on top of that from the U.S. Treasury Department or from ETFs that are into government or corporate bonds, and you're getting 7, 8, 9, 10%. Welcome to this party, everybody. It's called the money making party. I hope you don't mind being told how to make money and being shown how to make money. Auntie Jen, you don't mind, do you?
I don't mind. No.
I was just telling the kids that I've been on daily now since 2021, and that I know for a fact people are making money here because you have 2 new hips that have been paid for by these people.
That's right, I do.
And they're still watching us, even after we spent that money. We had to go down to Rancho Mirage for 2 years in a row for 5 months at a time for her to have her operations and recover and do the physiotherapy. And so we had to pay rent. We had to buy groceries, had to rent a car. We had friends come and visit us. That cost us more than the operation itself. You paid for that. Your profits paid for that. And you're still here. That's the thing. Why are there more gold bagels here now, gold bagelers here now than there were 3 years ago?
Are they bagelers?
They're gold bagelers. Why are there
buglers?
Not buglers? Why are there more gold bagelers than regulars? Because they're making money, man. That's why we're here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for being with me. Juan, I'm starting to like more writing, put the credit spreads out of the money, and I'm folding my arms. Okay. Bagel Babe, I love those iron condors, Uncle Bruce. Juan, of course, cash kid puts are and have been working great. Snow Moon, Tesla, 15-1 from the initial offering. Richard, good morning, Auntie Jen. Alluring Anglerfisher, AMA. Good morning, Auntie Jen. I was watching some of the old episodes I missed, and I was happy to see your smooth recovery earlier this year.
Yes.
Happy New Year. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Jen.
Second time is so much easier. Plus, it was a normal hip.
The first hip was a disaster. It was bad. And the doctor said...
It was a congenitally bad
hip. Doctor told her and I, this first hip is going to change your life. The first one we do will be the harder one to replace, but we're going to replace it. It's going to change your life. The next one, you're going to come back next year.
Easy.
He says, I predict you will be back next year to get the next one done. And after 6 months, the first one was doing so well. The two of us were talking, well, she might not get the second one done for another year. And then within a few months of that, we had like 8 months to go until it would be time to go down. We're going to get the second one done right freaking now. And now the world is completely different for Auntie
And I'm
Jen.
coming up on a year for my second one.
Yeah.
And 2 years for my first one. And
it's only been 12, 24 months.
It's amazing.
It's
the little things.
It is the little things.
It's the little things.
I did not pour myself any caffeine free because I had to go on live. I was behind. I was late going on the air. I was stuck.
What time did you wake up?
I couldn't get out of here. No, I wasn't late getting up. I was just pre-show all my stuff. So if you could bring me some cola too, that would be great.
And what's going to be on your bagel?
What's going to be on the bagel?
Last bagel of 2024.
It's the last bagel of 2024. I'm thinking we go all out.
Oh, okay.
Can we go all out?
Just anything I find that's left in the fridge?
Yeah, eggs, ham, cheese, toasted bagel.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we can do one more time.
We have no of the other horseradish.
No, but we got ketchup.
But we got ketchup.
With the egg. Yeah, we'll go all the way. And some caffeine-free cola.
CFDC.
Tide me over.
CFDC. Caffeine-free Diet Coke.
There you are.
Now that's what the cool kids call it.
That's what the cool kids call it. See, we're the cool kids. Thank you all so very much to be here. Thank you. Juan, good morning, Auntie Jen. Uncle Bruce, our Bagel Babe, Uncle Bruce, that's exactly how I said it too. Laughing out loud. Brian, does that mean Warren Buffett would be a lot richer if he did stock splits with BRK? Warren Buffett is richer because of stock splits. All the stocks he's held over decades have split. He's made a fortune. I always thought of myself as a golden bageler. Thank you for formally acknowledging the moniker, says Dude. Tom, you guys deserve everything good that happens to you. Happy New Year, safe travels, and don't forget sunscreen for that dome of yours. I have a hat for that. But yes, I do watch myself. I don't just stand outside and say, shine on me, burn me. No, I don't do that. Richard, horsey sauce is out. We're out of horsey sauce. We're done. And so, yeah, we've been cleaning out the fridge the last few weeks. Been cleaning out the freezer. We've been just eating up last of the stuff. And so we're trying to leave here tomorrow with nothing left over. That is the plan. So Yeah, we're finishing off the last of our bagels today. We're finishing off the last of our eggs, the cheese, the ham slices, yeah, it's all perfectly timed to run out at this point in time because for 150 days, there's no need to have food in the fridge. Sitting there and turning yellow and green and black or purple or whatever. Absolutely. Thank you all for joining me today. GameStop's 3204, up 3 cents at the moment. The Dow looks to be up about 120, 130 points. I think that's what we have going on. Let me do a refresh on my big ass iPad if I can make it work properly. There it goes. I think that's what it's doing. Let's check that. 123 point gain on the Dow, 10 point gain on S&P, only 1 point on NASDAQ. Very quiet opening. Now NASDAQ is down 1 point. Oil up 50 cents a share right now. All right. Let's see. Stocks moving the most right now would be Supermicro, Moderna, NVIDIA, MicroStrategy, Palantir, VeriSign, Sangamo, and others. SOFI is up a penny at 15.64. Rocket Lab down 34 cents. GameStop up 4. AI is down 13 cents this morning. Very quiet day. NVIDIA down $1.50 at 136. 418 on Tesla, up 65 cents. Palantir is down 85 cents at 76.33. MSTR, MicroStrategy, is down 264 at 300 a share. Costco down 277. Coinbase down $3. Matterport unchanged. Smart Rent up 8. ME up a dime. Google down 20 cents. Apple down 37. Microsoft up 12 cents. Broadcom down 178 a share. Intel is up 27 cents. Netflix is down 366. Meta Platforms is down 90 cents. EI Lilly is down 449. Amazon is up 20 cents. Spiders are up 64. The triple Qs are down 86. Supermicro up 3 cents a share. Uber is down 34. Adobe down $1.20. Cisco down 2, AMD down 41, Unity down 12, Enphase down 73, Spire up 22, Moderna up $1.09, Pfizer up 12, IBM down $1.08. If you buy IBM right now, you will get a yield of 3.03% in dividend income. That's what you will get if you buy IBM. If you buy a BIL ETFs, you'll get closer to 4.5 to 5%. And if you go after some of these ETFs that have corporate bonds, you might get more like 8% return on your money. Just comparing one to the other, nothing personal. HPQ is up a penny. Home Depot is up 65 cents. Vanex Semiconductors down $1.04. Goldman up 41. Centenos, Boeing is up 93 cents. Target is up 64. JP Morgan up 128. Walmart up 7. Disney's up 32 cents. American Airlines down a couple of cents. DraftKings down 28 cents. AMC down 0.4 of a penny at 396.6. Royal Caribbean down 68 cents a share. One more thing to mention to all of you that I have forgotten to mention, and this is really important. There's 252 of you here. This might be the most important thing I'm going to tell you all day. And I'm sorry that not 300 or 400 of you are here to hear it. If you're watching on the rerun, pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, all right? Today is the last day of the year. This is December 31st. Everybody knows that. Tomorrow, New Year's Day. Thursday, Jan 2nd, our first full day of trading. All right. I want you to understand something that could happen starting Thursday. First day of the year, right into the rest of the month, all through January, you may find there could be some very, very significant press releases produced by publicly traded companies all over North America, even in Europe, but certainly affecting the American and Canadian markets. The kind of press releases you might be coming familiar with, you may find that certain corporations are going to make announcements in the first month in January that pertain to an increase or a reestablishment of stock buyback programs. That's number one. And Wall Street loves this stuff. Investors love hearing about stock buyback budgets being reestablished, reset, whatever word you want to use on it. Here's something else. For those of you following Uber, following SOFI, Rocket Lab, and any other company that has done financings that are convertible into stock through capped call transactions. Remember 1454 for SOFI? Any of these companies out there that have done these already or who've never done one, you may find that in January we're about to be inundated with many, many public companies announcing that they have approved at the board level and have gone to Wall Street confidentially already. They've already had these meetings in Wall Street to offer capped call financings that offer debt convertible into stock at much higher prices per share than stocks are trading at. And it is possible that companies that have already done capped call financing deals might be announcing in the first month of the year the rollover of these capped call financings into stock that is free trading to satisfy these debt obligations. So when it comes to SOFI, to bring it home to you guys for SOFI, it is possible that in the first 2 weeks of the new year, SOFI makes a press release that indicates to all of us we have called in our $850 million of debt for free trading stock at $9.40 a share. I think that's the price, to close that deal out. And the books of SOFI will be adjusted from an $850 million liability IOU to an $850 million shareholder structure instead. In other words, a $1.7 billion switch of asset values from 850 deficit to 850 positive. This is entirely likely. It could happen as early as the early part of January. Now, this could be done with Uber. This could be done with others. I don't know. I don't think Uber is ready, though, because the stock's in the 70 range. It's not high enough. It's got to break 100. But Rocket Lab certainly is high enough for that deal to be done, certainly SOFI and others. Now, the next thing to understand is those companies that have done these kinds of capped call financings, like Rocket Lab, like SOFI, and others, may come up with a new capped call financing deal to announce. And that could mean during January, SOFI does a double announcement. First, they talk about the closing out of their existing cap call financing transaction, and then they announce another one. And the other one would be where the stock is in this $15 to $20 level, and they announce a deal where they're offering $5 billion of debt to institutional investors that are convertible into free trading common stock of SOFI that starts in the $20 level, but only will be exercisable into free trading stock at maybe $25 a share if the shares hit $45 to $50 a share or higher on a new capped call deal. Remember, the original SOFI capped call financing they put together last March, almost a year ago, remember? That deal was done when the stock was $9 a share. They dropped it to $7 to close the deal at $7.12 a share to ultimately convert the street into stock at $9.40 a share if the stock hits $14.54. So remember, the stock was trading at $7 and they were talking about a $14.54 capped call deal. The stock hadn't been $14.54 since 2021. Where was this coming from? And I'm telling you guys that all of these institutions couldn't get enough of that $850 million deal. They wanted to give SOFI more. They had already upped it from $750 million or $700 million to $850 million. They upped it. So now the question is, are they going to come up with a $5 billion financing at $50 a share? Think about that. The stock is going to be issued at $25 a share. That's 200 million shares. That's 20% of all the outstanding stock that has to be acquired by the brokers under 25 a share to deliver to the investors for $5 billion, but it'll only kick in if the stock breaks $50 a share. Now, there's no time limit that this has to happen in 90 days or 60 days or a year. There's none of that. It's a 5-year option. It's a 5-year picture. But the first cap call deal that went to 1454 happened in 9 months. Okay, within 9 months, SoFi broke 1454. Now I'm asking you, if they come up with a $5 billion deal where they get the $5 billion right now it's in their hands, they pay 1% interest for that money, or they issue stock, you know what they're going to do with that $5 billion? They're going to lend it out, get 4.5 billion back, lend it out. They're going to take that 5 billion and turn it into 40 billion in loans at 7, 8, 9% interest. The earnings per share of SoFi will soar with an additional 5 billion of cash, plus the cash they're bringing in from investors as it is and clients. The stock will go to $50 a share, maybe in a year. Do you care? If it goes to 30 during 2025 and then it goes to 50 or 60 in 2026, we'll call that another good 2 years. That's what we'll call it. And those of you who have written cash secured puts that are sitting on $20 cash secured puts that expire Jan 26, the stock's going to hit $25 a share anyway in the first quarter of the new year on this kind of a deal. That means you're going to roll your 20s into 25s or 25s ultimately to 30s, which means you're bringing in another $10 a share in cash for every contract you're writing. You're going to go from these balances that are $140,000 larger because you sold your stock and wrote the first batch of puts. You're going to add another 40% on top of that. You're now going to be sitting on $23,000 to $25,000, and then you're going to be sitting on $35,000 to $40,000 per 10,000 that you started with. Again, it's all just theoretical numbers, but I'm throwing this at you to wake you up to the fact. I think we are about to be inundated from the market with all kinds of new announcements from corporate America. Okay, deals have been struck with Wall Street. They are under secrecy. They can't spill the beans. Why do you think SoFi doesn't go down very much? Sitting at $15.75 right now. It's up 11, 12, 14 cents a share. It just won't go back to $8. It won't go back to 12. Why is that? Because there's something else. There is something else. You think Noto's finished? You think Noto is sitting back going, well, it was a good year. Hey, we took our stock from $7 to 15, 17. I've done enough. Oh, no, we're not done, kids. We're not near done on this deal. There's more to come. Jen is delivering what's more to come right here, right now. The bagel with ketchup here. Oh my goodness, Jen, this is so beautiful. This is the prettiest looking thing I ever saw.
That's prettier than Greg Maddox.
It is prettier than Greg Maddox. Look at that. We got a toasted sesame seed bagel with real cheddar slices, ham and cheese. Egg. Oh my God. We dip it. Ham. We just dip it in little old ketchup. And we have ourselves a little old bite and just see what this is all about.
Slid over. Oh yeah, there you go. That'll keep you going. Do you have you looked outside now that the sun's up? If that's what you call it, is the sun up?
Looks like shit out there.
Yeah, it does. We got a little bit of snow. If we were close to the coast, you'd call it a marine layer, but we ain't close to a coast.
We're still getting out of here. I'm just praying that everything works out, that we get off the ground, we land in Palm Springs. 4 feet of snow, I couldn't care less what happens here after I'm out of here. We're not here until June, so whatever lands will be melted by the time we get back.
We've been on an airplane in January at the Calgary airport where they actually popped the hood on the airplane, something I didn't know you could do. And we sat in that plane for 3 hours. And they gave us a muffin. Because they were only supposed to give us like a light continental breakfast.
We were supposed to fly.
That's all we had.
We were supposed to fly to Dallas.
Yeah.
Then we were supposed to fly from Dallas to Miami.
And then from Miami.
Cayman Islands. This was our big move.
This is the move.
We were moving out of Canada to the Cayman Islands, January 1998. And it was
so cold out.
It's 35 below outside, blizzarding. We got on the plane, American Airlines. We
Went through security.
Got on the plane, sat down. They pushed us off the
gate. From the gate.
I think we got de-iced.
We got
Then
de-iced a couple of times.
Taxied all the way down to the south end to the very south end of our runway because we were going to take off going north into the wind.
Of course.
So we taxied all the way down, waited in line for the first jet to go, and it was our turn, and we went to the end of the runway, and we're sitting there, and I'm just waiting for the engines to spool up. So come on, wind it up. Let's go. 10 seconds, 15 seconds, no engines, nothing. The engines are on, but we're not winding up.
We're not getting ready to pop a wheelie.
And then they wound up the engines, but only like taxi speed, and we started moving forward. And the captain came on the radio that one of the sensors was not working properly. You know what that means? It was frozen. Goddamn sensors were frozen. We couldn't get off the ground. We had to go back to the terminal, park at the gate, and then they brought out the technicians. They brought out the guys from WestJet, Air Canada, at the airport who are under contract, and they can fix any plane that lands there. They brought the boys out, and
from the inside.
They came in. They came in the gate. They opened the door. They came in and talked to the pilot. Then they went out and they went down to the bottom of the plane. They popped the hood down there and they replaced a part because apparently we have these sensors in Calgary because it gets cold from time to time and we kind of need these. And so it took 3 hours. And the pilot said, "Good news.
We had to de-ice again."
The good news, the reality was we couldn't get off the plane because we were now technically in the United States. We had cleared U.S. Customs here. So we were now in America on the plane with all our luggage. The techs were allowed off and on the plane to get us off the ground under U.S. Customs supervision. No problem. But we got her fixed, and then we pulled back. And then the second time around, they spooled her up. And off we went to Dallas. We missed our flight to Miami.
We knew we weren't getting there.
So we got a later flight to Miami. We got to Miami, and we missed our flight to the Cayman Islands. And then American Airlines tried to tell us that it wasn't a mechanical issue.
It was weather.
It was weather, and we're not responsible. And I said, "Oh no, you don't. No, you are responsible." And
your mechanics changed something.
Yeah, we got a hotel at the Embassy Suites in Miami for Jen and I and Jen Jr. And we spent the night, and the next morning we went back to the Miami airport and we checked in. And our flight was delayed 2 hours because they had an oil leak from an engine. Now they had another issue. Good old American Airlines flying antique planes.
Is the universe trying to tell us something?
I said to the two of them, I said, "I don't care how long it takes. We're waiting here until we get to the Cayman Islands."
And the good news was we were not on like a 5-day vacation. So if it takes a day, 2 days, we don't care. We're going to get there. We're living there. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We arrived.
But there were some people who were a little ticked off.
It was 75, 80 degrees in Miami when we were there.
Yeah.
It was 85 degrees when we got off the plane in the Cayman Islands in the first week of January. And in Calgary, where we had left the day, 35 below and howling. It was bad. And all of our relatives going, "So how many bedrooms are you going to have in your place down there? Maybe we'll come and visit you." Oh, isn't that lovely? You might come and visit.
We have a lot more people coming to visit us down in California. At the time we were in Cayman, the Canadian dollar was 65 cents.
55.
55. No. 65.
We were crushed.
Oh, we were absolutely crushed. And so my family, they were using airline points, knowing that they didn't have to pay for a room.
Air miles.
Air miles. Mm-hmm. And my dad, as so many of the elderly people who have hearing aids do, forgot to take them out before he went in the water.
The Caribbean Sea, salt water.
That's right. Those blue tangs are going, what the heck are these?
Go back to Canada. When he got back to Canada, got himself new hearing aids.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Exactly.
It was an interesting time. Another world.
It's very interesting.
We had our 2 years down there. Learned a lot and made some great connections and built a long-term following there, and unbelievable. Changed our lives. Just changed our lives.
Yes, it did.
Mm.
As they say, the step you take today is dependent on the step you took yesterday. So watch where you're stepping.
Because she hits.
Don't step in the poo.
Don't step in the poop. Oh my God.
Watch the donut, not the hole.
We got.
Where is that Timbit gone to?
Let me check these comments here. Here we go. Come on down for some Welch's Concord grape jelly. Oh,
That's
indeed.
right.
Brian, remember last year, the first analyst that beat down on SOFI and it dropped like 20%. What a jerk. Brian, I remember it was between Xmas and New Year's. Bobby, oh man, I'm late this morning. DH bagel time. Bobby, that's a good looking breakfast you got there, Bobby.
Cleaning up the fridge bagel.
All I have is black coffee with cannabis honey stirred in, says Bobby Atkinson.
Cannabis honey.
DH Ruta. Brian, beat it
get,
down.
A few drops.
Beat it down and buy the dip. Bobby, Eastern Ontario lost all of its snow in the past 2 days, +9 yesterday and +7 today.
The problem is that we don't have enough snow. We have not. We need more precipitation, and snow is good precipitation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Bobby says it was good. It was New Year's Day when the hit piece against SoFi went live. It dropped the next day. Doug,
that's right,
that is the Big Mac of bagels right there.
That's right.
Brian, Bobby Atkinson, he's saying to Bobby Atkinson, I think Canada is best prepared for any global warming weather events. In Calgary, we get anywhere between -30 and +30 in a year. In a day, in 2 days, 6 years. We get that here.
Our buildings know how to sweat.
Bobby Atkinson saying my GameStop spread that I'm trying to close out at 6 cents is between 4 and 10 right now. Come on, baby, come to Papa.
Come to Papa.
Brian, everything just turned green, says Brian.
Time for fireworks.
Look at this market. The Dow's up 155. SoFi's up 23 cents to 1586. Yeah. Yep. Rocket Lab's up 31. GameStop up 31. Rocket Lab up 27. AI up 49. NVIDIA's only down 12 cents. It's coming on. Tesla's up. We're up everywhere. Bobby, next week it drops to 0.03 cents. If Uncle Bruce prices are going up in the new year, my stink pit is going down to the new year. Brian, flying in winter sucks in Canada. Thanks. So it takes so much longer. Then you have to put out your winter coat somewhere. Bobby, I leave my coat in the car each time. First thing I grab coming back to the car, laughing out loud. Mandu, bagel. Mandu, good morning, Auntie Jen. Brian, is there such a thing as a New Year's Eve rally? Brian, you mean Caribbean or Caribbean or what do you mean? Brian.
It depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever.
It seems to be that they use one or the other.
True.
All people use both terms, yeah.
My front page.
It's the Caribbean Sea, but you're going to the Caribbean.
My front page of quotes, all green. NVIDIA's up.
All green.
Palantir's up. MSTR's up.
Don't you just feel like next year's GameStop's year? Like, I think next year GameStop is going to come out and say things.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the first week of January, all kinds of news is coming out of GameStop. They've got something to do with that 4.6 billion.
I don't know necessarily.
Maybe
January, but yeah.
They've agreed to a takeover of another company. They've agreed to a merger. They've agreed to I don't know what.
I think this bread has risen. It's time to put it in the oven.
Oh, this is so good. This is the bagel. This is the Big Mac of bagels.
Now I did not fry your cheese this morning. My little fryer was busy doing your egg, but.
How am I supposed to survive?
I put the ham and the cheese in the microwave for a few seconds so you didn't, get a cold shock from it. That's right. Who's taking care of you?
Not you. Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Look at that cheese melting. Oh, baby.
See?
Mm.
Just enough to melt and take the cold off. Mm-hmm. Then you got
So good.
the warm bagel and the warm egg finishes the melt. I'm out of here, people. Have a great New Year's Eve. Don't be that girl. Women, you know what I'm saying. Don't be that girl, but get out there and enjoy yourself.
Oh, but don't be that girl.
Don't be that girl.
Don't be waking up the next day going, who's that?
No, don't be the one that decides tonight's the night we're going to wear those brand new 6-inch stilettos. Yeah, you're going to break your ankle, honey. You don't want to spend New Year's Eve in the emergency ward. Because sometimes to get to a bathroom, you got to go upstairs or downstairs. I don't know what those architects were thinking of. They weren't thinking of New Year's Eve outfits.
They don't wear 6-inch stilettos. Not those.
And you don't want to be that person going, I should not have had those last 2 drinks. Don't be that person either.
Safety tips.
Safety tips.
From Auntie Jen to you, kids.
Don't wear new shoes tonight. Watch the donut, not the hole. And have a wonderful New Year's Eve.
Bobby says, don't be a harlot, says Auntie Jen. Christina,
oh, no,
sound advice from Auntie Jen.
No, I know goddesses who can rock those 6-inch heels. Like, I don't know where their hips were made, but they weren't in the same place mine were. And yeah, they are just, there's some amazing women out there.
What can I say?
Yeah.
It still amazes me in a way, but then it doesn't. That
in this weather, you're going to be wearing sandals.
All the talk of the world about treating people with respect and including everyone in on the human race, and we're all equals and we all have opportunities. Blah, 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 blah.
It's white men saying that, honey.
Walk into a grocery store, go to the checkout counter, and if there's actually a cashier, take a look at the magazines available. And every single one of them, if they're anything to do with fashion, what's on the front cover? A young woman that is 105 pounds, soaking wet.
We mean young. These are young teenage
girls. 105 pounds, soaking wet with 6-inch heels.
Some of them aren't even
and they are yet. The fashion choice of a generation. And every year it's the same dang thing. And people talk about, well, we should have more representation of the average person on these magazines. No one will buy them. Yeah. No one's going to buy. You want a 16-year-old girl to buy a magazine showing a 35-year-old woman who's 145 pounds after having a kid or two? Ain't gonna fly. It's not gonna work. No, they want to buy magazines that show them what they could become if they were in a fantasy world. And
young men being shown that they need to look like athletes, that you better be in your garage pumping iron or no one's going to look at you. We have just ridiculous expectations for our children. So go hug your kids. Have a good time. We'll see you in Rancho Mirage.
Rancho Mirage. Thank you, Auntie Jen. Thank you all for joining me. Almost done this bagel. The stock market went up while I was eating the bagel. Go figure. Isn't that the oddest thing? Market went up while I was eating this. 1580 on SOFI. 2666 Rocket Lab. GameStop 3216. AI up to 3550. Giddy up, everybody. Delicious. My last bagel out of Calgary.
That's right, it's your last Costco bagel.
Well, you want this?
Well, I want this first. I'll take that as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, my dear. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, if you've hung around this long, you can understand what I'm saying to you with regard to possible announcements that might be coming out right off the bat in the new year. Brian is saying that in the past week, Ryan Cohen has tweeted 2 job openings for GameStop. GameStop is busy. Let's move on here. Okay. Did Auntie Jen just imply there's a meetup coming soon on social? I don't think I heard that, but we are looking to do a meet and greet in California. I'll let you know when I know. We'll figure that one out. Looking forward to catching up with some of you guys down there, or all as many as possible, of course. We'll try to give you as much notice as possible to set this baby up. Thank you all very, very much for just everything that you guys provide us. We are now looking at, let's take a look at these numbers. How many thumbs ups are in here and how many answers to the poll question? 365 of you have made a vote today as to what 2025 will bring. 44% of you say that SoFi will hit $30 a share. 17% of you are saying GameStop will hit 50. 5% of you are thinking that Rocket Lab will hit $40 a share. And 33% of you say, I will write options and be richer. There's probably the correct answer. No matter what the market does, that's likely what's going to happen around here. Thank you again for answering my poll question whenever I put these out there. And again, the thumbs up meter, I thank you all for finding it and hitting it. We're at 186 on the thumbs up meter now. We're only 14 away from 200 thumbs ups yet again. I thank you very much for that. It's a psychological number. I love to hit 200 or more. And it just shows YouTube, hey, pay attention to this channel, promote it. He's doing poll questions. He's got engagement with his viewers. He has members. They give him thumbs up. I mean, promote this guy. The more people who find this channel and listen in on what we talk about will be aware of how great SoFi is going to be. They may become SoFi shareholders. They're going to find out about the GameStop story and find out what we think is really going on over here. Rocket Lab and AI and NVIDIA and Apple and how to write options. Giddy up, everybody. Thank you all for being part of this family. Love to have you here. It's been a pleasure to serve you this year. And, I'm looking forward to seeing you get a lot richer this year in 2025 than you've ever been in the past. I don't want you guys in a situation where if the market has a 10 or 20% correction, I don't want to hear about you guys losing 10, 20, 30% of your account value because you were holding stock thinking it would go even higher. If you think stock's going even higher, you don't have to hold it at all. You just write cash secured puts and sit on the cash. We'll see how this plays out. I know some of you will be dealing with challenges coming up. This is life. None of you are identical to each other. You're all different people. You all have different portfolios. You all have different objectives. You all have different styles. Some of you are going to have rollover issues. Some of you are going to have situations where you get exercised. I'm here to try to help you out, to give you advice from this angle, give you my 2 bits worth of thoughts, whether it's on the show live or whether you're emailing me or whether we're doing one-on-ones where we can really dig into how you're doing and what you're up to. You let me know what it is you want to talk about with one-on-ones and we'll dig into it together. For some of you out there, you have very wisely figured something else out that a lot of people don't figure out. The thing that some of you have figured out is that life is fleeting and that health is everything. And sometimes Mother Nature doesn't play by the rules we think she should be playing by. There are instances on this channel and my other channel where I have lost viewers because they've passed away. And I hate it when that happens, but there's not a damn thing I can do about it. And the only advice I can give those of you here with this channel and this YouTuber is to say to all of you out there, have you got a backup plan in place in case you, the primary option writer, is incapacitated and cannot continue to write options for a while? Did you hurt yourself? Were you in an automobile accident? Did you fall down? Did you have a stroke? Did you have a medical emergency that took you out of the loop for a while? You'll be back, but it might be months. Is there someone else who can handle your portfolio going forward? Are you writing a conservative enough strategy through option writing that your spouse, your partner, son, daughter, uncle, cousin, mom, dad, whatever, child, grandchild, can step in and help guide your account forward? I pray for that always for all of you. I caution you out there, if you're a lone cowboy, you're a lone wolf out there, you think you're invincible, think again. You may not be invincible, and within a few weeks of you not being able to function, your account might be in all kinds of problems. I want that to be out there as an awareness thing. I don't want this ignored by some of you who are just riding high right now. Nothing can possibly go wrong. Too many times, changes happen that are unscheduled and screw up all kinds of other stuff, like a domino effect, one after the other. So again, if those of you out there are finding out that you're an option writer and your husband or your wife just doesn't care, just doesn't want to know, can't possibly understand what you're talking about, has no interest in what you're talking about, but someone else does. Maybe it's a child that you have, or it's a grandchild you have that just is absorbing this information. You're putting them on to how you're doing, and you have a very close person to you that goes, oh wow, this is great, this is fantastic, how do I do that? And you've helped someone else become very dear to you, become an option writer, whatever. You may find that working collaboratively together and having in place a sort of a power of attorney arrangement, whatever it is, to maintain the structure of the account and keep the game going while you're incapacitated, or God forbid, if you turn over and don't turn back, who's going to take over this account and run it from here for the benefit of whoever is getting the benefit? You have to think about that. I just want that out there. Okay. You guys figure out your situations and kind of take it forward from there. All right. Thank you, everybody. Let's see. Let's see what else is going on here. Do people are talking to each other about rolling credits and moving forward on option trades? More power to you. I'll leave you alone with that. That's okay with me. I want to say thank you for all of your support for 2024 and 2023 and 22 and 21 and the beginning of this channel in 2020. Thanks to those of you who are also viewers of my other channel since 2017. I went down memory lane last night on the other channel, was showing off some of the earliest posts that I had from the earliest days of my other channel, when I had 5 subscribers and 2,700 subscribers and all that sort of stuff. That was an interesting little walk down the country lane of memory. Thank you here. Those of you who've been with me from day one, and certainly those of you joined in on the craziness of 2021 with GameStop and all the other meme stocks. Thank you for those of you who have really taken to writing options. You have, I think, set yourselves up for a fantastic future. You're already generating revenue now that you never thought you'd generate. You're already seeing results from becoming an option writer that you never thought you would see. You've totally transformed the kind of performance you used to get for your accounts to what you're getting now. And for many of you, you thought that the ultimate success story would be to amass enough capital to have enough shares or ETFs of an entity to make enough money on dividends to live. That was the game plan since the 50s and 60s and 70s. Little old ladies clipping coupons and clipping dividend coupons, treasury coupons. And so that game long ago ended and went away by the dodo bird. Today, if you want to succeed in this market, you have got to be doing what the top five percenters are doing and have been doing here for decades. You've got to join their party. And one of the areas where they thrive is being casinos in their own right by writing options. And this is what I'm getting you to become. Option writers extraordinaire in your own right at your comfort level and hauling in interest on cash balances. I can't emphasize enough how powerful cash is in this business. You don't need stock to be rich, not at all. And to be successful, you don't need stock. Kids, thank you so much for everything. I love it that you've been with me. Have a great Happy New Year tonight. Pace yourselves, of course. Don't forget to honor the Knights of Knee. Thank you, Snow Moon, Brian, Weber, Juan. Thank you for all you've done for us, and that all we can do for you is our pleasure. We'll do as much as we can to keep this party going. We'll take you to another level, we hope. Richard, thank you. Neat. Don't forget the knee emojis. Charlie, thank you so much, Uncle B. Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to everyone here. Here's to a prosperous 2025. Chase, Rosita Parker, Happy New Year, Uncle B. Thank you. Boeing Tiger, neat. Don't forget. Thanks for the knee emojis. Thank you for being with us. Have fun. Watch this market. Let's see what's going on. And just get richer out there, kids. We will see you the day after tomorrow on the air with everything working out the way it should from Rancho Mirage. So stay tuned, and we'll take it from there in the next few days. Corinne, thank you. Larry, as always, my friend, thank you so much for everything you do for us. Mandu number 5. Neat. Exactly. Thanks, kids. Have a wonderful New Year's. Goodbye, 2024. Hello, 2025. And oh my God, are we going to be watching a whole bunch of stuff. Alex, over in Germany, buddy, over in the UK, buddy, thank you. I'm thinking about other people as well. Those of you in Germany and Denmark and the Netherlands and Norway, Sweden, France, Italy, Ireland, UK, of course, wherever you are, thank you again for all the support. Manager number 187, baby, thank you, buddy. Nico, neat. Don't forget. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day, rest of your year. We'll see you next year from Rancho Mirage. Goodbye from Calgary.